I want to talk about this article I read because it's basically, I don't know if I absolutely agree with it, but I can tell you that the whole thing is, well, if this is the way it goes, then this is the way it goes. But Glenn Greenwald, you might know him. He is a guy that has made some bombshell reports and is about as integrity-based of a journalist as you could hope for. And yes, there are those still left. He's one of them. Matt Taibbi's another one. There's some good people out there that are doing good work and really do care. And he's made a prediction, but this whole thing has an element before it that I really think you should check out. Okay. So Glenn has made an important prediction, but the run up to this story is incredibly important, I think. Okay. So Tuesday night, Secretary of State Antony Blinken was leading a bizarre rock anthem as the guitar and vocals frontman at a Kiev bar singing Neil Young's Rockin' in the Free World, and the internet collectively cringed. But only the next morning, on Wednesday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky declared he was canceling all upcoming foreign trips at a moment his forces are getting hammered in the Kharkiv region. So yesterday, I put the question out, is Ukraine about to collapse? Because I think I'm seeing signs that really are showing that this is a possibility, that we are pretty much close to being there. Now, I thought that as they collapsed in, there'd be more support from Europe and NATO, and this eventually would devolve into a Russia versus NATO kind of thing, right? Well, Glenn doesn't agree with me, and that's okay, because, I'm not going to get everything right. Gotten some things right, but not everything, for sure. But the main thing about this is this tweet and the whole thing right here. It says, Volodymyr Zelensky has instructed all international events scheduled for the upcoming days be postponed and new dates coordinated. We are grateful to partners for their understanding, said Zelensky's press secretary, Sergei Nikiforov. So now Kenny Rogers has a very apropos statement. He says, just a quick reminder that you and your family can't afford gas, rent, and groceries because inflation is out of control and your tax dollars are being spent on things like Secretary of State Tony Blinken playing guitar at a bar in Ukraine. Please be more pissed off. I mean, he's got a point. He's got a point. So let me double down on this. First of all, the version of Rockin' the Free World, and I've done it numerous times myself, is mundane at best. He's playing rhythm. He's got a lead guitar guy in the back. Probably said, hey, learn these songs. I know them. And, here they are. But, I mean, talk about optics. Let's just look at optics here. Probably one of the worst ideas they could have done. I don't know who is in Joe's cabinet, or I don't know who's making these kind of decisions, but they suck. They're really stupid. If I were wanting Joe to win, and I don't, FJB, if I were wanting Joe to win, I would not be showcasing my Secretary of State jamming out in Ukraine, with other people. Put the guitar down and freaking negotiate, and let's end some of these wars, bro. I know you got ties to Israel. I'm sure you got ties to Ukraine too, all of which, of course, is not for the most innocent of reasons. And just the whole thing is just, I mean, I don't know. I agree. You should be more pissed off. These are terrible looks. These are terrible, terrible things that are going on. It should be all hands on deck to make people stop, I don't know. Should be all hands on deck to bring peace. Really should be. As long as the rock and roll's flown in Kiev and the, I don't know. Not a good look, Anthony. So here's Glenn's prediction. He says, by this time next year, there will be about 15 people still admitting they supported the bloodshed and debacle of the U.S. blocking diplomatic solutions and instead fueling this futile war in Ukraine. Everyone else will pretend they opposed it. U.S. war propaganda is always false. I mean, can you blame the guy? He's kind of right. I don't know. I just, war is terrible. It's destructive. And nobody is talking about peace. Nobody is trying to bring people together. And you could easily get something. I mean, both sides will have to give up a little bit. But if you get, Zelensky to put the buffer zone of the lost 4 oblasts and just say, hey, leave what's left of Ukraine. Here's your buffer zone. You're not in Ukraine or NATO. Go on and prosper your country. It's not going to happen. There's no way. All of this is, it's all futile. I don't know. War is just destructive. All war does is chew up the resources and bad everything of the old system in the readiness for the new system. If I could get you guys to do something, you'll notice on this video there's a thing with 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner. If you click that, it'll drop down and should make it so you can like the video. I would love it if you could like it, and I'd like it if you could love it. Thank you. By this time this year, there will be 15 people admitting they supported the bloodshed. Everyone will pretend that they opposed it. U.S. war propaganda is always false. War is terrible. War is a horrible, horrible thing. It kills people dead. It ruins land. It ruins everything. It's as bad as it gets. And it's all around us right now. So that's kind of the problem. So not a good sign that Ukraine and Zelensky are canceling all of their trips and everything, because that's how he drums up money. He wrote Wednesday, by this time next year, there'll be about 15 people. Everyone else will pretend they opposed it. Indeed, this is very similar with how the Iraq war turned out. Everyone was on board until they weren't. And that's exactly where all this is going. All these things are not done because, they're looking to make the world a better place. It's basically just the elite version of laundering, money and resources. There's no other way to put it. And they're able to do it. And they're good at it. They're used to it. So, indeed, this is very similar with how the Iraq war turned out. Everyone was on board until they weren't. And those who had it horribly wrong all along suddenly fell silent and forgot that their past gatekeeping and rabid denunciations of the minority other side whose unpopular predictions proved accurate. Wow. Okay. So, behold the predictable pattern of U.S. empire in a long, slow decline. That's the truth. Oh, man. We're in so much trouble, guys. I said this last night. I'm going to say it again. We're in a lot of trouble. We're in a lot of trouble because the people that are running the show are put there by people that are really running the show, and the really running the show people are not beholden to any country or patriotism or anything else. They just want to see things crumble. And they want to buy things for penny on the dollar. And to do that, well, things have to crumble. And then you get those pennies on the dollar. So that's where we're going with all this. I mean, I don't know. I don't see how much longer the financials can keep going. We went through it last night, all the different issues on daily job cuts. It went on and on and on. I've never seen such a big report. Our youth are addicted to screens and video games and have no abilities whatsoever of, the ways of the old gardening and sewing and hunting and everything else. We're just in a really dire situation, and there's no way to really get us out. I mean, some people are going to have to man up. Some people are going to have to really kind of figure it out and get ready. It's not happening, though. I don't think so. Let's see what the old George has to say.
The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Ukraine. Iraq. Anyway, 75.
It was at this moment that he knew he up.
I mean, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, he knew he messed up. I mean, Iraq war is terrible. I'm doing it Vietnam right now. Vietnam was a problem. We're just, all this stuff is just basically chipping away at the empire, So these rich bastards in the back can come in and make pennies on the dollar and then sell you on a system that will just basically enslave you and make it so your children and your grandchildren are nowhere near as affluent and wealthy and well-to-do, good, as well off as the previous generations. They had a thing out today. There's a video by, what's his name? Oh, God. Anyway, he said that the Gen Zs, the Zoomers, are nowhere near the wealth and the money saved at this time right now that the millennials were. Inflation adjusted, the Zoomers are like in $42,000 a year, and if you take that, the millennials were at like 58,000. I mean, it was pretty considerable. The generations are having major problems, and it's because of all this endless war. It's because of really crappy leadership, like the guy on the screen right there. It's all just, chipping away and done on purpose to make it so everything crumbles. And again, the rich jerk faces come in and buy everything for pennies on the dollar. I don't know. I think we're just at a crossroads here. We're approaching 250 years as a republic, and people in charge are, shouldn't be running a hot dog stand, and most of the things going on are really, really bad, problematic. We haven't had a GDP growth since 2008. You guys know that? Yep. It's weird. Problems, folks. Darkness is spreading. And so what can you do? You got to prep. We got a whole new chicken set up because we're expanding. Got to prep. Got to get, I'm about to pay off a major bill. Got to prep. That's part of it. Put food away. Do whatever you can. Stop. Stave off and get yourself tied to the masthead and ready for whatever the heck it is that is coming, because big things are coming. And, they're going to take us to war to, take the focus away. That's true. It's coming. So, be nimble, be good, be prepping, and be getting your house in order, folks, because major, major terrible things are coming. And there's no date, I don't know. It's just, I wish we could warp back to 2017, 2018, when things are really starting to look up again. And just look at that time frame and then extrapolate it out to now and where we are. I bet it'd be eye-opening for many people. So, yeah, Gen Z can't afford rent. You know, they can't afford marriage, houses, all kinds of stuff like that, and they're pissed off, and they know it. They know they can't. They know they're basically inheriting a zombie. So, inheriting a zombie. I think we have come up with our catchphrase for what we'll be calling the sucker tonight. Inheriting a zombie. Or inheriting the wind. Either one. It's bad. So, Tim Pool was the guy I was looking for. That's right. He's the one that had the videos. So, go check out his videos. They're good, informative. And, yeah. Hit those 3 buttons in the top, the 3 little dots, and click on that like button if you could before you leave. That'd be great. Leave a comment if you can. That'd be great. Do some engagement, whatever it may be. That'd be great. I really appreciate y'all, folks. I do. It's been a long day today, and I can't think of any other way that I'd rather do it than live streaming to a bunch of people on the interwebs talking about all the crazy stuff going around. So be good to each other and keep doing the things. All right, friends. That'll do it for tonight. We'll take it from here tomorrow. God bless. PrepperNow.